June 11th, 2026. 2 matches, 2 score lines, and every pattern that would define the next 39 days already visible. In football, the first day never lies, and the proof begins at 7,300 feet, inside an Azteca that felt different before kickoff. Mexico's opening match at Estadio Azteca did not feel like a routine group stage fixture. The atmosphere pulsed with something heavier, an entire country's expectation pressing down on the pitch even before the first whistle. Javier Aguirre, returning as head coach, fell back on ritual. A brief meditation with his staff, then a walk across the grass as the stadium filled. In the final team talk, he asked each starter to repeat the mantra, "Tri vuelve a volar," which means Mexico flies again. Captain Cesar Montes led the squad in a moment of calm, but the tension was unmistakable. At over 7,300 feet above sea level, every breath was a reminder of the altitude's invisible weight. The sold-out stands acted as a psychological wall, amplifying every movement, every hesitation. Even before tactics or pressing lines took shape, the emotion and physical strain had already started to shape the way Mexico approached every touch and decision. Mexico's grip on the match was built on more than adrenaline or home advantage. The opening goal at 9 minutes, finished by Julian Quinones, was no accident. It was the direct result of a tactical trigger. As South Africa's right back hesitated in build-up, Mexico's front line pressed in unison, compressing the play and closing off pass lanes. Quinones anticipated the mistake, intercepted the loose ball, and drove forward, slipping a shot past the keeper. The crowd's roar at that moment was a reaction to visible control, not just emotion. In possession, Mexico's base 4-2-3-1 formation morphed into a 3-2-5. One fullback pushed high, the other tucked in, creating a back three that supported 2 midfield pivots. This structure allowed Mexico to stretch the field horizontally, occupying every channel and forcing South Africa's compact 3-5-2 to defend in constant motion. The holding midfielders anchored the center, while the advanced 5 overran the half spaces and wings. Every time South Africa tried to play through midfield, Mexico's pressing cues kicked in. The front 3 cut off central options, the midfielders stepped into passing lanes, and the fullbacks pinned the opposition wide. South Africa's response, a narrow, disciplined block, could slow the tempo but rarely broke Mexico's territorial grip. The match became a demonstration of how repeatable structure, not just opening night energy, can dictate the rhythm and territory of a World Cup opener. Authority on the field did not guarantee a composed finale. The 2-0 scoreline masked a match that grew volatile as the minutes ticked away. Referee Wilton Sampaio found himself at the center of a contest where the atmosphere refused to settle. As the second half unfolded, the stadium's roar battered any attempt at calm, making even basic instructions a struggle to communicate. Verbal commands were swallowed by the noise, leaving players to rely on instinct and emotion. The tension boiled over with dismissals on both sides. South Africa's Sfefalo Sethol was sent off early in the half, followed by a second red card for his teammate, and then Mexico's own captain, Cesar Montes, saw red in stoppage time. Each card punctuated a contest slipping out of structured control. South Africa's disciplined block, even with numbers reduced, absorbed waves of pressure and forced Mexico to chase clarity in chaos. The closing stages served as a warning. Even the best-laid plans can unravel when emotion overtakes order, and the underdog's resistance can outlast the final whistle. Momentum in Guadalajara never settled for long. Czechia's breakthrough arrived in the 59th minute, a set-piece header from Ladislav Krejci that cut through the tension and forced Korea Republic to chase. The sequence wasn't just about physical strength in the box, it was a warning about how quickly a single dead ball can reset the emotional balance of a match. Korea's response was measured, almost clinical. 8 minutes later, Hwang In-beom found space at the top of the area, took a controlled touch, and drove his finish low. This was not a desperate counterpunch, but a move built on structure and timing, the product of a side that had rehearsed how to handle sudden shifts in momentum. In the span of 8 minutes, both teams had to abandon their original plans and adapt. The match became a lesson in how quickly control can slip, and how the right tactical choices in these windows, marking at set pieces, composure, and transition, can define not just the result, but the tournament's early character. Hong Myung-bo stood on the touchline with the clock ticking toward the final 10 minutes. At 78 minutes, he made the most aggressive call of the night. A fresh attacking midfielder, legs primed for chaos, signaled a new phase. The message from the bench was clear. Every lost ball, press immediately and as a unit. Korea Republic's shape compressed, but not recklessly. The back four and double pivot held tight, refusing to let the counter press unravel into gaps. Czechia, already stretched by the pace, suddenly found every pass contested, every clearance met with a red shirt snapping at their heels. 2 minutes after the change, the effect was immediate and brutal. Korea forced a turnover high up the pitch. The midfield surged forward, exploiting the Czech line's momentary hesitation. Hwang In-beom, now operating with more freedom, picked up the loose ball and drove at the defense. The compact block behind him meant Korea could commit numbers without fear of being exposed. Hwang slipped a pass wide, and within seconds, Oh Hyun-gyu arrived in the box, timing his run to perfection. His finish in the 80th minute was clinical, a low strike that left the Czech keeper rooted. The scoreboard read 2-1, but the real message was tactical. Substitutions, when timed and instructed with intent, become weapons, not just relief for tired legs. Korea's bench had changed the risk calculus, and with it, the outcome. The opening day had given its first proof that in this World Cup, timing and nerve from the touchline could be just as decisive as anything planned in the dressing room. Every press, every hesitation, already mapped the psychological terrain of this World Cup. The tactics revealed themselves early, and they never lie. In football, patterns outlast moments. Subscribe for deeper analysis.